Can y'all make some noise for just being here tonight? Y'all could do a better job than that. Make some noise.
Some noise in the house.
Are y'all excited like I'm excited? I don't believe y'all. Are y'all excited like I am excited?
Yes, we gotta hear that.
Indeed.
Indeed.
So, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Mr. Brother Dooley, aka the Beantown Ghetto Shaman, here for the people and saying thank you.
Beautiful, and my name is G-Jaw, performing artist, and I am happy to be here, yes? So, before we introduce our first guest, some of the questions that we are asking folks are, who are your people, or what is your philosophy, or what do you want to talk about? But I would like to ask you, Brother Dooley,
Yes.
who are your people?
It started a very long time ago. On a very distant point. No, my people are anyone that walks with their heart, first and foremost. That's it. You know what I mean? I came out of my mother's womb, and my mom, God bless her, she's not here with us right now. She was a mystic, and she taught about love. She taught me about learning about nature, how to talk to the trees, all kinds of different things. And that was my foundation, you know? My father, brilliant man, I call him the walking library. He used to be a jazz player here in Boston and played the alto saxophone, the piano, the flute. He met Alice Coltrane. You know, he rocked out with famous Pharoah Sanders when he came here in Boston. At age 14, he walked with Martin Luther King when he was here in Boston. Yeah, he's brilliant. You know what I mean? He's still here, and he's the one that really laid the foundation for me as well. And my auntie, big up to her. She was a Black Panther here in the Boston area. The local Black Panther chapter was in the Grove Hall area back in the day. You know what I mean? And she was a cartoonist, a political cartoonist for the chapter back then. But that's where some of my fruit comes from the tree. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. A beautiful, very musical background is your people, right?
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to know who my people is?
Hell yeah.
Okay, you gotta ask me.
Who are your peoples?
My people, so I come from a lineage of warriors, prayer warriors.
Shoot.
I come from a lineage of storytellers.
Shoot.
The people of the Ewa culture in Ghana, and also my mother who is a Ghana. And I come from a collective group of immigrants who made a way out of no way, is what they would say. I come from people who had a language with the divine, who knew and wished to translate a lot of the ways in which the divine operates.
That's right.
I come from people who create a late night TV show in the middle of the neighborhood. I come from
Get some
people
snaps on that. Get some
yes,
snaps on that.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's who I come from.
Okay.
And so I'm really excited for the people who we meet today to also be our people, to be y'all's people as well. And if you are shy, or if you are second guessing coming on this couch, I challenge you to come on this couch and just talk to us, right? We are all family here.
That's right.
And we all just want to talk. Yeah.
This is what, and thank you, sister. This is what people have been doing for the longest time.
Yeah.
Seeing people, you see the old folk that used to be on the stoop?
Yeah.
They be like, hey, what you doing, young boy over there? What you doing? You know, you better be going to school. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? This is what community is about. Interacting. So we're bringing it to the streets. And we invite, when you see people walking down the street, we invite you to pull them to the side, like, hey, it's a seat over here.
Yeah.
We're having a dope conversation. We want you a part of this.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Indeed.
Yes,
Indeed.
yes.
So once again, give yourselves a round of applause.
Yes! Get it going.
And we have our first guest on the couch, who goes by the name Kenny. Can we make some noise for Kenny?
Make some noise for Kenny!
So Kenny, you heard about our people. Who are your people?
Who are my people? I got so many. I got all my St. Louis crew, my brother, my sister, all my nieces and nephews, and people back at home, all the people I grew up with in St. Louis. Should I be talking into this mic or should I be talking into
Both.
mine? Okay. So, and then here, I've got my crew of people that I dance with.
Right.
Jesse and Janine are coming, Ayano.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of the people I was texting about the shelter anniversary coming up.
The shelter anniversary.
Yeah, it's
Wait,
in
tell us
November.
more.
It's in November.
Oh.
Of the Remembrance Party. I'll send you the info later. What else? Who else are my people? All the people at the studio.
Yeah.
I work at this place called Design Studio for Social Intervention, which
Oh,
is
really?
sponsoring this event. You all are my people.
Hey.
All of these people are my
Come
people.
on.
I'll stop there.
I love that. So you mentioned house music. I'm interested to know, because one of the things that's very freeing of house music is that there is no real choreography. But I'm wondering, for someone who has never heard house music and wants to go and listen and dance to house music, what's a lesson that they should walk in with?
It's freeing.
It's
So
free.
come into the space looking to find solace, find freedom, be touched, be moved. The space is meant for you to find some peace of mind and peace of body, and to dance freely.
I love that. I love that.
I have to add on. I love house music.
Yeah.
I love house music.
Oh, we got
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that this man was out here DJing one night?
Yeah.
I was in a trance. You seen it? I was up there, and that's the love of music. I mean, again, I come from a musical background, and my first love is hip hop, of course, rap music, all that, right? Especially 90s rap. But there was always this element of house music, and for me, it was still like hip hop, but it was smooth and like you were saying, that freedom, be able to move your body, be able to. Yo, it's nothing like it, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
That
thank you.
project was called Dance Court.
Yeah.
And we did it right here.
Well, tell us about Dance Court. What was the invitation for Dance Court?
So we felt like we wanted to test there being spaces where people could dance in public the way we can play basketball or tennis or baseball or do other things in public. And we said if we created a space where people could actually come and dance in public, what would happen?
Right.
And we're continuing to test that in the future, the way we're doing this test right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we would love to continue to ask that question. Like, why don't we have places where we can dance in the day, at night, all the time, the way we can do other things?
Right.
Like, I want to dance every day.
Me too. And I do dance every day, and I should be able to do that in public with other people.
Yeah, I don't dance every day. I should dance every day, but I don't.
Yeah, it's free. It is free. So, what do you want to talk about, Kenny? What's on your mind?
Maybe I should say a little bit about the People's Late Night.
Yeah, please.
So we're on the People's Late Night. I would have to give a shout out to Claudia Prado,
Yes.
an artist, a cultural leader back in Sao Paulo, Brazil, who I met about a decade ago doing a social intervention called Couch on the Street, which was really the inspiration for this. And Claudio, one of his premises for doing this kind of work is that we should have spaces to gather in public that are free, that are full of surprise,
Yeah.
that are unscripted, and make it possible for people to get to know each other and to talk about the things that they care about.
Right.
And so, given our mission and our theme, we always talked about it, and whenever we talked about civic design or thought about good ideas around social intervention. So having an opportunity to pay homage to him by doing this, I think is amazing.
Right. And what is your intention or hope for tonight as folks are coming on the couch or just being observers?
think to see what happens when we do interventions, what's possible by organizing space like this, and to really say another kind of city is possible, another kind of neighborhood is possible, that we can DIY make our own public life, we can DIY make our own cities, we can DIY make our own neighborhoods, that we don't have to wait for culture to come to us, we can create culture.
Right.
That
Big up to that.
yeah, I think, and that if we're interested in our own cultural lives, we have to make them happen.
We have to make it happen. Indeed. And is it still going on in Brazil? Do you know if he's still?
Is Claudio still doing Culture on the Street? I don't know. I have a close friend who's really close friends with him, and so maybe another set of people might be doing it. I don't know if Claudio himself is still doing it, but it's a brilliant gesture.
Yeah, and I also think that it's really beautiful because everybody always has something to say. So in creating a space in which we are able to be in conversation with each other, to hear each other, to see each other, right? It's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful invitation.
Yeah, for him, one of the things he would say is like, yeah, you can hear from stars and you can hear from athletes, you can hear from all kinds of different rich people.
Yeah.
But what about us?
Yeah.
How often do we get to put the spotlight on our neighbors, ourselves,
Indeed.
and see the variety that exists right with us?
Indeed.
And so what's one of the things I like about that is that the variety is right from, it's an emergent variety. It's a variety that comes from the audience, a variety that comes from the neighborhoods, from our communities.
Yeah. Indeed. Do you have any questions?
Well, no, not right now.
Okay.
But thank you.
So you're also doing a residency at Northeastern.
Yes.
And I would like to invite you to share a little bit more about that and also invite folks to the event that's happening on the 30th.
We had to cancel it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe just share your experience about what's been going on.
So I did a residency with a dear friend, Judith Lehman,
Yes. Who's in the audience?
on the Vibrancy of Needs,
Yeah.
where we created spaces to test ways we teach and create spaces for people to investigate, think through. I guess another way to put it would be we created spaces for people to engage in learning in ways that are non-traditional,
Yeah.
in ways that are different than the classic conventional classroom.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was about being in conversations with other professors around how they teach, why we teach the way we teach. And one of the things we experimented a lot with is like, how do you create a scene similar to this, where learning is an emergent property versus the classic classroom where the learning is really embodied by the teacher or the professor imparting knowledge. So those have been a lot
How
of the
was
tests we've been
How was
doing.
it received for someone who
Really
is-
well,
Okay.
really well by both the students,
Yeah.
faculty, and passersby. So it was, and we had a great time, and we want to thank Chris Manjapra, the faculty member at AHA Lab. We also would like to thank Center for Design for hosting us, and it was a great time. And now they are, the second leg is happening here at 545, what's the name of the street? Columbia Road.
Indeed.
We did the first piece today, and we do another piece from 3 to 7 tomorrow, looking at 20 years of our archive.
That's so beautiful. Can we just make some noise for Kenny?
Yes.
Kenny is so amazing. So I'm now thinking back to music. What song would you say describes this moment in your life?
Probably Hold On to Your Dreams, Jah Wobble, Francois Kevorkian. I forgot how to say Holger Kuze, but it's a lock classic. And I've been sort of playing that a lot right now.
Yeah. Why would you say it connects to the season in your life?
The idea of holding on to your dreams, just the title. I feel like it's important to me, and And I feel like right now, at this point, it's so easy to let the context or like what's happening in the world make you let go of the things you think are possible.
Yeah.
And so it's significant for me right now.
Yeah, oh, lovely. Can we please just make some noise for Kenny, y'all? Thank you so much for coming on the couch.
Absolutely.
If you could throw an intention for everyone who's coming on that couch, what would you say to them?
Have fun.
Have fun, because this couch is fun. Ain't that, you're having fun, right, Kenny?
I am. It was a lot of fun.
Exactly.
Thank
So
you
please
much.
make some noise for Kenny, y'all. Y'all can keep making some noise, yes? You go that way. And if you are interested on being on the couch, you can see Onofo, who is on a black table right over there by the pole. So please sign up and come talk to us. We would love to meet y'all. Yes. All right, so I have a game that I want to play, okay? Are y'all ready? Y'all don't sound ready. Are y'all ready? Okay. So something I've been thinking about a lot lately is how I don't really know the full song. Like usually now I only know like 30 or 40 seconds of the song because of Instagram and TikTok, yeah? So I was like, dang, how can I embarrass y'all and have y'all know the whole song? So the test here is that we're going to play a snippet of 1 or 2 songs, and you are going to sing the rest of the song. I just want to see if y'all be like me, where y'all don't really know the song, or if y'all are actually people who listen to the whole song. Y'all ready?
All right,
Are y'all ready?
All right, all right.
All right, so DA, play the first song. Oh, and you are more than welcome to dance. Get up and move. Yes, the dance court may not be hung up here, but it's still a court, so y'all can dance. What you know about this, Nadra? That was an easy part. All right, thank you, DA. Y'all give some noise to DA over here, ZJing. All right, let's try this next song, yes? Y'all ready? Y'all did a great job. Oh, we can groove to this for a little bit. Who will always be there? Don't you promise me the world, all that I've already heard. This time around for me, baby, action speaks louder than words. If you're looking for devotion, talk to me. Okay, so we got something for all the ages.
trips like, yeah. Nazareth, I'm fucked up, homie, you fucked up. But if God got us, then we gon' be alright.
Nigga, we gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright.
And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. Bahamas, I'm looking at you from the face down. Or Mac 11.
Okay, stop it here.
Skimming.
Ooh.
Okay, audience.
Ooh.
No, yo, it's
Ooh, okay, so y'all give yourselves a round of applause. Great job. So we are going to welcome our next guest.
Oh, it's me.
Okay, y'all make some noise for Ayana.
Hello. Hi. Sit.
Yes, sit down.
Here's my paper.
Oh, and Pro Black. Y'all make some noise for
Pro
Pro
Black
Black.
up here. My dude. Good to see you, God. Yes, sir.
Welcome Ayana Max and Pro Black. We have two lovely guests on our couch, y'all. Can we make some noise for them once
Hey,
again?
Yep,
I
yep.
will say, I know these two beautiful people, so I have a couple of questions that I would love to ask. They have been up to so many beautiful things, and so first, I would love to know, who are y'all people? Like, who is y'all's people?
People.
Yes, okay. If you don't mind grabbing the mic.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Awesome. Hi.
First, let's get into these nails. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see these nails. These are
They
really
are red. They have roses
If the,
in them.
if the camera can zoom in, I hope it
Zoom on
zooms
that
in
joint.
on these
Zoom on
nails.
that
Like,
joint
that
right
is
there.
very fly. Okay, sorry.
Yes. My people are creative, they're community, they are loving people, I would say.
Love
My
that.
people. Yeah.
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 Ooh, that's a loaded question. My people's all of Boston, especially Black Boston. You know what I mean?
Right, all right.
Son of Roxbury, and I'm just here to reflect all this light that's been poured into us. So, which is mirrors walking around.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Oh, lovely. So, if there was a philosophy that you hold, what would that philosophy be?
Philosophy, for me, I think authenticity and empathy is really important. Being your full self in every space that you walk into, even if it's scary, even if you're nervous, even if it's weird, like, it's so important to just show up as you, because you don't know who you're gonna influence and who you're gonna touch, and just being your all the way self. Yeah.
Thank you, Ayana.
Like a rap duo, you know?
Go for it.
I know, same question?
Yeah.
Philosophy, I have many of them. People know me to say grow on, flow on. And what does that mean, and what does it embody? It's something that mirrors the Sankofa spirit, where we know and learn things from our past to be present, to be able to contribute to our future. And I thrive on the idea of each one teach one. And it's the ability that, like, if I don't know it, you don't know it, we're gonna learn it together and go forward. But if there is something that I've learned, to be able to pass that. And I think like that word of mouth and that experiential learning holds more weight.
Yeah.
It's something that you can have like accreditation for, you know? So that's some of the philosophies.
Oh, I love that. I feel blessed because I've been able to see both of your artworks on walls, in galleries, and something that Kenny said earlier was that things like the late night talk show, things like the dance court, they're supposed to be a disruption. They're supposed to be an invitation for people to imagine their neighborhoods or the places that they see often very differently. And so I'm wondering, with your artwork in the wall, in the galleries, what are ways that you are inviting some form of disruption into our worlds?
That's a good question. That's a good, really good question. Disruption. I think back to the thing about authenticity and vulnerability, I've made it a point to like share my personal life and share like the things that are really uncomfortable, because again, I feel like that's what pushes people to show up a certain way. I've had people walk into galleries and like cry after looking at my work. I've had people tell me about their divorces after just meeting. It's like this thing that starts happening when I show up a certain way. So I think my work disrupts in this way that is kind of soul hitting, right? It's not this, it takes a second, it's colorful, it's pretty, you're like, ooh, this is nice. But then you spend some time with it and it hits in a certain way and you start to react to it. So that's one of the ways that my work touches people.
Yeah. Thank you.
The disruption, I would say what it echoes or harmonizes with is the idea of access. So, not fighting to get into a gallery, we turned the neighborhoods and the streets into our galleries.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
Yeah.
You don't need a membership or
about it.
anything of that nature. You just need to walk up to some of the pieces and look literally into a mirror, not a mural anymore, and listen to what's happening. I mean, I feel like the way we disrupt is that we're actually showing that we are listening. And so when people are able to reflect into the pieces or talk about something that they took away that day, they might have had a bad day, but if they did one thing when they walked up to any of our pieces and looked up, then our job was done.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because we're walking around looking down, everybody's on their phones, but if somebody took the time to just look up, I feel like that's just a disrupt from what, has been occurring. So that's one of the disruptions, man, the access.
I mean, I would love to speak upon that because pro-black, you always been someone I always looked up to, just ALA all day. When we talk about graffiti, when we talk about hip hop, and we're talking about, like you said, that's the disruption right there. We have all kinds of billboards, all kinds of advertisements, certain things in our neighborhood that are actually promoting certain ideas or certain things. So essentially, we flipping the script right now. We have our own advertisements. And I wanted to see how you could touch upon ALA, how that actually formed here in Boston, because a lot of people don't know that you're a legend, a living legend within the Boston community. And like I believe, like they say, give people their flowers while they're here.
Indeed.
So I just want to see you want to touch on that. Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, just to talk about the crew, African Latino Alliance, it was birthed from the idea of just resisting, the idea of fitting into what was going to get us seen or adored. It was just a representation of the street. We was each other's passport to the neighborhoods we probably couldn't go into.
Right.
So, if I'm a kid from Roxbury and I'm in Mattapan, I have sanction because of one of my brothers in the crew,
Right.
And just that unified front of the African Latino Alliance, or just the acronyms that we would cook up, with ALA evolved into Avenging Lost Ancestors, always looking ahead. There are things that we did as a crew where we raised each other as men and held each other accountable. But I think what's even crazier about the crew, where we had like tiers of younger and older brothers, we were mentored.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the ability to mentor and have sisters like Ayana come up in something that we didn't know what was going to turn of it. Boston's beautifully small, and our practice is echoed throughout the years. We got to this millennium now where there's all types of distractions, but we're making beautiful ones. And they're not even distractions at this point. So when you have Ayana pulling up and knocking out walls now, that lesson didn't come from attaining a college or nothing like that. This is stuff that we learned on the street from each other.
Well, I mean, when I look and people see your pieces, when they see the little boy blowing the Nintendo joint, I don't know what street that's on, but it's crazy. When people see the young man with the boom, or sitting on the boombox with the 3 stripes, that's Boston all day. If people, even different neighborhoods, we wore our different sneakers. But there's certain things that make urban Boston, Boston. And I think that a lot of people that weren't connected to the streets or weren't even there when these things were being birthed, it's a whole thing they just not aware of. It's like I was saying when we was talking about our people. My father was there in the age of certain movements that were happening here in Boston. When we was talking about, even on the phone, Boston being a jazz hub, You know what I mean? Throughout the South End, and a lot of things along the lines of political movements, social movements, creative movements. So, yes, thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
Thank you,
bro.
Appreciate it.
Yes, yes.
And Ayana, do you have a new piece up?
I do.
Can we make some noise for Ayana? Is this your first mural?
It's my first large scale.
Okay,
mural.
can we make some noise for being the first? Like, this is amazing.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
for
thank
those
you.
who have not seen it yet,
Yes.
how can you describe it to us? Yeah, and what song would you attach to this mural?
Okay.
You can answer the song.
I gotta
part
think
later,
about it, I gotta
but
think about it.
Describe the mural to us and tell us about it.
So it's very large. It's 45 feet, and it's at a school. It's at Mother Caroline Academy. It's an all-girls private school right on Blue Hill Ave. And they were looking for something that represented the work that they do, the students, the girls. And it was such a, you know how you have those moments when everything comes together? It was one of those things where like it was a project that just fit so beautifully. I grew up on Blue Hill Ave, in Mattapan, in Roxbury. My family had lived up the street for like 40 years. And I do work that inspires young people, but just people in general. So for me to fall into this space with these young girls and to be able to show them the work that I do in real time, like they're in school watching me up and down a lift all day and waving at me in the windows and all of that. But to go into what the mural looks like, it is a set of young girls at the bottom looking up. You see the back of them kind of like holding each other like they're friends.
Wow.
And there's a woman who is about 3 stories high, black woman, looking up with her hands up. There's a butterfly and a bird, and there's a lot of movement. And the root of it is around transformation and dreaming and hope and possibility.
Wow.
But very, very black. Like it's
Yes.
there is
Yes.
black hair,
Yes.
it's braids, it's all of it. So
Yes.
it's very much a piece of me on that wall, but also a message to the girls that are looking at it, to the people in community, to continue again to show up as themselves, but just
Right.
hopeful and bright and colorful and we got this. Kind of like, yeah.
I have 2 children,
Yeah.
2 little ones. And this conversation comes up, especially with my daughter, and self-representation.
Yes.
So when you say you're making this piece,
Yeah.
and again, these cars are going by, these kids are on the bus, and they're like, yo,
Yeah.
you see that? You know?
Yeah.
And I remind my daughter, love your beautiful hair. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
we have all kinds of advertisements, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And this goes into our culture when we talk about colorism, all kinds of different things. And this stuff is real.
Yeah.
Because you know what I do? I'm the hood shaman. So I give the medicine to the people.
Yeah.
That's my job. And I speak to the people from where they're at.
Yeah.
You know, so this, again, your flowers. Because the positive representation that you're bringing, especially for them young girls,
Yeah.
from the young boys, they need to see that. They need to
Yeah.
see that they're beautiful, that their hair is beautiful, that their chocolate skin is
Yeah.
beautiful, all
Yeah.
these beautiful features.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's self-worth. So thank you for putting that to the canvas,
Absolutely.
to the wall. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there a song that you think goes with the mural piece?
That's such a hard question. I don't know yet.
Okay.
I gotta think on it. I
That's
gotta
all
think
right.
on it.
Just send me the playlist.
I will.
And
I
do-
will absolutely send you the
I
playlist.
do have a question. So
Yeah.
how, what was the process of going from the normal pieces that you do, which would be
Yeah.
a standard canvas,
Yep.
to a huge wall? Like, what was the process? Like, how did you believe in yourself to do that? Like, what was that? Like, what was that like?
Tell them, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's be real. I'm still scared right now, and it's almost done. No, I think I do things scared. Like I'm nervous and I'm scared, and I'm up there, and the lift is shaking, and I have a video of me holding on real tight. Like there's just this one hand. I can't go all the way in the corner. Like I just do it scared. A long time ago, I had said that I didn't want to be the person that didn't jump into this thing because of like fear. Like it's important for me to do it scared. So going from this small piece, I've been around for years, like watching folks put up murals that I love and that do beautiful work. And I remember saying, like, I'm gonna do it one day. I didn't know when the day was, I didn't know what or how or why, but I knew I was gonna do it. So I have been surrounded by it. I've seen it in the background. I've seen projects created. I've seen them from a blank piece of paper to a presentation, to a projection, to a wall. I've been a part of it, so it was scary, but it wasn't foreign to me. So I understood enough of the process to know. And then on top of that, I have people that I could literally call and be like, I need help, right? I
Got
have
your team,
Rob and Mike and
That's
so
right.
many other people who will pull up at any time if I need it. They will answer the call in a second because they're like, is she stuck up there? What is happening? So yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
That's so lovely. Can you tell us where it is?
Yes, it is at 515 Blue Hill Ave.
515
It
Blue Hill
is,
Ave.
yep, Mother Caroline Academy, so it's set back a little bit. So when you drive by, you can see it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you both for coming
Thank
on
you.
this couch.
Thank you.
We really appreciate y'all for sharing your wisdom with us. So please, y'all make some noise for y'all Mac.
All right.
Rob Gibbs.
So, what we're gonna do right here for a second is that we're gonna move our body.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna do a guided movement breathing exercise. All right. So, I want everybody to stand up. All right.
If it makes you feel better, you'll be warmer.
You know, it's getting a little nip out here, right? Moving our body, getting the blood circulating, getting things moving is, okay, let's get that mic going. All right, so, and then the next thing I want you to do is I want you to look to the person beside you. If you don't know that person, I want you to say hello, peace. Peace. You know what I mean? We want to say peace. Thank you for being out here tonight. You could have been doing anything, but you decided to come out here and be a part of this wonderful event. This build on the couch at Strand Theater.
You could also just
So
throw it
first
in
thing
the
we're gonna do
You could also just throw
is
it in
we're
the
gonna
corner.
have our feet shoulder width apart. Everybody shoulder width apart. All right. Now this is gonna be the shimmy shake. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have everybody just bounce up and down, get that blood flowing, for a second. You know what I mean? Just knock out all that little stress out of your body for the day, whatever you was holding on to. You know what I mean? Whatever you might have been holding on to the day, coming here at work, loved one, whatever you're going through, we shaking it out for a second. Next thing, real quick, y'all, next thing.
I believe it. Leave it.
We're gonna pat on our body, starting from our head, coming down. All right, coming on down to our stomach, down to our groin area, down to our legs, down to our feet. All right, coming back, up the legs, coming to the buttocks. You're gonna tap them kidneys, saying to yourself, I love my kidneys. Damn right you do. Now, you're gonna put your arm out. We're gonna tap our arm, coming all the way down to his shoulder area. Coming back to the hand. Switch the other arm. Come all the way back to the shoulder. Come all the way back to the hand. Now, I want y'all to breathe in. Bring your hands up. Breathe in. Breathe your hands over your head. And then exhale, come down. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in. Bring your hands over your head. And then exhale, come down. Let's do this one more time. Breathe in. Over the head. And come down. All right. Take a seat. Thank you. Now, I just want to say one thing about breathing real quick. There's a man here in Boston. His name is Master Heath Robinson. He was an ex-Vietnam veteran, all right? He was dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, had Agent Orange, and he was on the verge of suicide. He met this Asian man that taught him Tai Chi that used to go to Boston Common. I forget the elder's name, but he taught him. Through the art of Tai Chi and Qigong, he was able to deal with his post-traumatic stress disorder. I seen this man the other day, and he's 81 years old today, this year, all right?
Ow, ow.
He's 81 years old, and he's walking around, not overweight, not feeling out of shape, not feeling sickly, not on any medications. We have to learn how to age in a way that benefits all of us. Mama Earth gives you the plants and the medicine to grow and be at peace with yourself and heal yourself. And then there's ancient ways your ancestors taught you how to move your body, how to breathe, and how to be with nature. And it reflects your health. When I learned about Tai Chi, and I'll keep it real short, I noticed that some of the Chinese elders that would be early in the morning, they weren't walking around like most of the elders I would see in the nursing home. On the crutch, on this, on the walker, taking this medication, taking that medication. We have to learn from each other. Even if this goes beyond cultures, you learn from each other globally. You say, okay, wow, this is what you do with your people, your tribe, your family. This is benefiting y'all. See how we can add this into your equation to be a better version of yourself. Okay? So we will continue. Who's the next person on this couch? Let's get this going.
Y'all make some
Thank
noise.
You. Thank you for doing the exercise.
Hello.
All right?
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you.
Corianne?
Corrine.
Corrine.
Corrine. Thank
Corrine
you.
Reynolds. Can we make some noise for Corrine
Make some
Reynolds?
noise for Corrine.
Corrine, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, you're doing
Yeah,
well. Did you
yeah.
have a good week today? I mean, did you have a good week?
It was a solid week.
It was a
I've had
solid
worse,
week?
I've had better, but it was
Okay,
solid. You
it
know?
was a solid week. You
To
made
be
it
honest.
to Friday. Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we've been asking folks, who are your people? And so the question still stands. Who are your people?
So my people are folks who cover me. My people are folks who show me care and grace.
Right.
Folks who allow me to be myself, that I feel safe around. So those can come from work, those can come from my family or friends that I've met along the way, but it's a sense of like almost home when you're around them. And those are my people where there's just this untangible connection and vulnerability that you're allotted and afforded and that you reciprocate to each other. So those are my people.
I love that. I love
Okay.
that. And what songs are you listening to nowadays? Like, what are the
OMG, this is like the
things
worst question
that
asked
you-
me.
Wow.
So, okay.
That's the worst question.
So here's the deal. I used to sing when I was younger.
Okay.
I'm fully retired now.
Okay.
But when I was conditioned, I was a conditioned singer. If we did anything without listening to the music or paying attention to the music, we would be called out, right? Or spoken to in front of the other people that are being conditioned. And so now I've learned that like when music's on, that's the only thing I focus on. So I try to, it clouds my mind a little, so I try to stay away from it. But when I am listening to music, I know it's very weird, it's my ADHD. What I try to listen to is my favorite album, which is Stevie Wonder's.
That's right.
Stevie, the As, the Village Ghetto Lands, all of those.
I was listening to Stevie before I came here when I was on the bike.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
And I'm also like a big pop fan. Like anything
Okay.
pop, I'm totally for like
Okay.
extra
Like
pop.
what-
So it's a mixture.
Anything pop? Are you 90s, 2000s?
I'm
Much
full
more
on
recent
like
pop?
Backstreet Boys, Lady Gaga, Pussycat Dolls. Like I love nostalgia pop.
Okay.
That reminds me or takes me back to like when I was younger or to like memories of happy times.
Yeah.
So I like songs that are like connected to experiences that I've had.
I love that.
That was a very long answer for just one.
No, it's
thing.
all right.
Yeah.
We do long and short answers here. You are on the couch. This is your
Yeah.
couch.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
Why did you retire singing? Is it that you just stopped, or you just stopped singing professionally?
Yeah, so I actually went, my first year of college, I actually went to school for music education. But I had dedicated my entire life to music and my craft. And it was one of those moments where I was like, okay, I have to be good at something else. I was on a journey of self-discovery, and my identity was wrapped up fully in performing. I thought I was going to be this pop sensation at one point in my life, international superstar. But there came a point where I was like, I know I could be doing something else. I can be good at something else. And I also wanted to help my community. At first, music and finding similarities and creating a better world through music was what my purpose was, but I knew I could do that in a different way. I took an urban planning 101 course, and I was like, oh, I can become an urban planner. I can learn about how things work, how our neighborhoods are invested in or disinvested in. I can know how to build us up. I can understand how government and people work together, how big business and small businesses create an ecosystem. And so that's kind of where I shifted, but I use that creativity now here as my, I guess, secret sauce, or like my special, my secret weapon, right? And so when I work in government now. I'm the director of Nightlife Economy. So when I'm trying to, thank you. When I'm trying to problem solve, I'm not just problem solving from the textbook kind of, in the box kind of thinking. I pull from my creative background, from traveling around the world or meeting new people, and think outside the box to solve some of these problems that I face every day. And I think that's what kind of edges me out from traditional folks.
Okay, that's really beautiful. So if there was a dream of nightlife in Boston, what would that look like for you?
Well, more of this, clearly.
Okay. That was the answer.
I was already thinking, like, how do I get this on City Hall Plaza? I just don't understand. Why isn't this here?
Get the conversations going.
All jokes aside, I definitely think that more nightlife that's representative of all nooks and crannies and corners of the city. I feel like there's this overall perception of what Boston is. And I'm not from Boston. I've lived here in total 14 years, but this stint for 10. And the perception of what Boston is and what I know Boston is very different. And how can we uplift that? How do we create space for that? How do we invest in that so that Boston, takes pride in what we have? Because sometimes Boston likes to get down on Boston a little bit. Take pride in what we have, uplift that, and show the world we're different.
Okay. I love that. That was a really good answer. Okay, so back to you. Yes.
Okay.
When is the last time you danced?
I danced?
Yeah. And what song did you dance to?
Oh, I was in the club on Tuesday.
Okay. Club's going up on Tuesday.
I don't know. I was doing research and development, as they say. And it was it was a Shabuzi song, because Shabuzi was at the club and he was playing his new song, and so I was dancing to that a little bit.
Okay, is it country?
It was a little bit country.
Okay.
But then who else showed up? It was Kodak Black was also there.
Okay.
And so he did a little two-step as well, so I was enjoying that
really
one
nice.
as well.
Okay, okay.
Throwing it back a little bit, because I'm still working.
I don't know if there's a thing of throwing it back a little bit. It's either you do it or you don't. So was you throwing it back or was you not? That's the real
It's a
question.
medium throw.
Okay. I gotta see what that looks like in the video.
I can teach you.
I only know it or you do it. I don't know. Word. Okay, so
That's funny.
let's see. So if there was a philosophy that you follow and you could preach to others, what would that be?
Yeah. I always say I can do anything until I've tried it and failed at it. So if you tell me if you ask me right now, can you fly a plane? Yeah, I can fly a plane. Because I haven't tried it and failed. I haven't put any effort into learning to fly a plane. So I'm not gonna say that I can't do something until I've tried to do it. I'm not gonna limit myself, my surroundings, my growth because of the perception of, oh, well, I can't, or oh, I don't know, or oh, they told me I can't. That's never gonna happen for me, and I try to instill that in the people around me, like, why can't you? Where is that coming from? Is it self-doubt? Or is it folks around you? Have you tried to do it? Do you know? So that's what I would say to folks.
Ooh, that's a powerful philosophy. I'm really, really excited that you came on our couch. And I am curious to know what your perfect nightlife would look and feel like.
Oh, it just...
Ooh, and what pop song is playing?
As you are experiencing, this is your music video. Okay. So you just got. Let me set this tone for you. Okay. You just got off of work. You got home. You kicking off your shoes and you getting ready for your night. Where are you going?
Where am I going? Well, it depends on the season, the night. It could be a Tuesday, it could be a Friday, it could be a Sunday. It really depends. It could be warm, it could be cold.
Choose.
But one of my favorite times is I love to explore the city. I feel like people kind of stay within their own neighborhoods or in their own kind of natural path. And I try to be uncomfortable at night because I feel as if the nights that are kind of random or you extend yourself a little bit past your comfort zone, we learn about ourselves, and then we also have like the most fun. Or we have a story to tell at the end of the night. And so one of those things where I was like, let's try this, was going to the ICA, and then they had like a shuttle water taxi that I think is completely underutilized. Like, that's such a cool form of public transportation that we have. And then going over to the watershed over there. Then there's a cidery, Down East Cider over there, and then tasting some of the ciders, walking along the water, then go to Mita down the road and watch the sunset go down on a nice summer day outside, get a big old bowl of pasta, then go back into the city, maybe go to Hugh. My favorite drink at Mita is also the Dante Picante, and I like to plug it. It's so good. And then go to Hugh, medium throw, and then and then afterwards go to Bova's and stand in line for something.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing so much about you and
Of
just
course.
your dreams. Thank you so much for coming on the couch.
Yeah, anytime.
And can we give a round of applause for Kareem? Y'all could do a better job than that. You can put it right here.
What do y'all think about house music all night? I mean,
We're
we're talking about nightlife, right? Most clubs are shutting down at 2 a.m. What's the conversation on staying up a little later? And can we get some house music all night? I mean, really, I'm just putting that out there. My Boston people, we love you.
Frank was a vibe. So we are now going to introduce our next guest. Is that Abdul? Oh, can we make some noise for Abdul? Are you gonna do a dance for us? That's it. This is a dance. Okay, got you. Welcome, Abdul. All right. So, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy.
You're sleepy.
Yeah.
Is it past your bedtime?
It's past my outside time.
Outside time. So at this time, you're usually doing what?
I'm like on the couch. I guess like this. Right. And there's a TV here. So
Okay.
we've switched around the scenario.
Gotcha. So now you're on TV.
I'm on TV and on the couch.
And on the
and on the couch. So you might as well just get comfortable how you would at home.
Can I be comfortable?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
And then you're gonna adjust this mic so we can hear you very well. This one right here. Yep. You can
Okay.
also hold it if that's more comfortable.
I
for
think
you.
that's better.
Beautiful.
Thank you so
So
much.
are you comfortable?
I'm comfortable.
Beautiful. Are you comfortable?
I'm good.
Are y'all comfortable? All right.
Is anybody sleepy?
No, they're not sleepy.
I just want to.
Y'all are not
I
sleepy.
just want to chat.
You're having fun, right? Right. You're having fun. You're cold, but you're having fun. Beautiful. Abdul,
Yes.
tell us about your people.
Yeah. So you're my cousin.
Yeah,
first
I
of
am
all.
your cousin.
So my people are the Walla people in Ghana. That's the Upper West region, predominantly Muslim area of Ghana. That's where my parents are from. I grew up in Connecticut in a small town called West Haven, so maybe like 2.5 hours from here. And born in Cleveland, but my people are who wants to call me their people. Yeah.
And they also make really good tozafi.
They do.
So for the people who don't know who tozafi is, can you
Okay.
explain it as you would to a
No,
fifth
I
grade
can't. I
child?
can't. I can't. You can.
No, I think you should.
No, you can.
No, I think you would do a really
No.
great job.
So I'm not, because I'm gonna do a terrible job. But I'll describe my favorite snack that my mom does
Please
make.
do.
So we call it chin chin. Do you call it chin chin too?
Yes.
Okay.
But I only know it by Chin Chin because of Nigerians.
Okay. Fair.
Okay.
We didn't have to bring them into the conversation,
sorry,
but we have
sorry.
now.
Sorry
Okay.
to all the Nigerians in the place.
So chin chin, or my mom used to call it chips too, because she was
Okay.
kind of like, I don't know how, she wanted to give me an Americanization of some things, and I was like, you know, when I got older, I was like, you can just call it whatever we call
Right.
it. It's kind of like fried dough, but then like cut up into really small pieces, hardened outside, soft inside.
I had it before.
You've
It's
had it
dope.
before.
It's
It's
dope.
great
Yeah,
snack.
yeah, I like
It's
it. I like
addictive.
that.
You can get it, and you kind of
yeah.
like the same way you might like go to like a fair and somebody wraps in like a newspaper some fries. You would like wrap that in newspaper. Somebody on the street is selling to you like that. So that's what I can describe as one of my favorite
You did
things.
a really great job,
Thank
and
you.
I won't explain tozafi, but you did a really great job. And listen, so Abdul's mom makes tozafi,
She does.
and Abdul promised that when she makes it,
And she
I will be invited. I
Yeah.
can tell you about it once I go eat it.
It sounds like a
And
public
then,
kitchen. It sounds like a public
It
kitchen.
does sound like
doesn't
a
it?
public kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
We might have to get Abdul.
Okay.
Abdul, what's your
Okay.
mother's name?
Her name is Rahina. Rahina.
Rahina.
Yes.
We gotta have her come and make
Yeah.
some tozafi for us.
She'd be happy to.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And-
That's your grandmother's
oh
name.
wow.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Look at the connection. I think
Those are the
y'all
only
are
Rahinas I
cousins.
know. I only know my Rahina and yours. That's all. Is it amazing? That it's not my mom anymore. Is it?
That's lovely. Okay, Abdul.
Yes.
So, what is your philosophy if you had one?
My philosophy, or at least the present one, is we are each other's business, we are each other's harvest, we are each other's magnitude and bond, which I feel like some people seem to know. It comes from a poem called Paul Robeson by Gwendolyn Brooks. And yeah, it's fantastic. It makes me think of just all the things you need to be for other people and what you hope people are for you.
I love that. I love that.
What type of upbringing along the lines of your religion as you grew up?
Yeah, so we're from, the area where we're from is predominantly Muslim, Sunni Muslim
Okay.
specifically. And I don't know the long edge of the history, but I know like many places in West Africa, there was kind of migrants who brought the faith of Islam with them.
Okay.
This was one of those regions. The region we're from, I would say we're probably descendant of folks who are from like Nigeria and the kind of upper region as well. And yeah, I grew up at home as Muslim. We would go to our local mosque. My mom raised me that way. I don't know Arabic. I'm not fluent in Arabic. It was something that I went to Sunday school for, but it's very hard to learn if you're not speaking it at home. But yeah, that's kind of the faith I
It's
grew up in.
interesting because one of my sisters is Muslim, right? And when she goes to the mosque, she realized there's a distinction amongst African Muslims compared to the very Arab type, and it's a whole different way of approaching religion. They bring still a lot of their different cultural aspects on it. Do you have that? Was that something that was was in your upbringing?
I think so. I think my mom, because there weren't as many of folks who are from our region of Ghana or even from West Africa who were in our mosque. We had a couple of like family friends, but they're all from different regions of Africa. So I think my mom was trying to adjust how I understood Islam to like whatever was happening around us. But I do know from where she's from, there are distinct kind of cultural traditions, festivals that are kind of this merger of the culture that's there in that location and Islam as well. So like there's this something that we call the Donga Festival, I think I'm remembering it right. And it celebrates the chief of that particular village that we're from, but it is also kind of representative of a part of the Islamic calendar when they hold it. And so my mom like talks about that as a big childhood memory, but it's not something that I see represented in other kind of Muslim traditions outside of us.
I'm thinking about this because you said emerging, right? When you go even into certain places in Boston here, Dorchester, Roxbury, you'll see bodegas, you know what I mean? You'll see different places where there's, when you said the merging, I've had a lot of friends that deal with Ifa, right? Or even deal with Santeria. And when you deal with this merging of African religious practices, spirituality, that merge with Christian faith or what have you, to be able to survive with their culture, you know, so you're looking at the saints being God in a disguise or guised as a natural deified element, which would be a Orisha or what have you. What's your opinion about that? Do you feel that was even in some aspects with Islam or any type of level like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I grew up, I didn't see that show up, at least in terms of like Islam and kind of West African or African traditions being merged in. But in that same vein, my mom would talk about magic as like a concept that we were aware of in our community. There's a specific story when I got like from school, if everyone had like scholastic book club things in their school, so we had those came in, and one of them was like a learn how to do magic book that I wanted to get. And I remember I told my mom, like, oh, can I get this? She sometimes would get me stuff from things. She was like, we don't talk to the uncle who called himself a magician back home, who did magic. And then for me, I was like, so he wore a top hat and he was weird.
Right.
And what I understand to it is like he was engaging in, and I don't know the depths of it, but like whatever the magic was, it was considered like scary. But it also for it to be scary means that people believed it, that it meant something for folks there. So
you know, it's so interesting when we think of the top hat. First thing that comes to my mind is when you look at voodoo or hoodoo, even when we look at the magic here in the Americas, and they say, hey, we adopted this in a way to be able to look at the spirituality from Africa and see how we could adopt it here, and we even called it hoodoo, right? So the top hat always been that association with figures like Alegba, for instance, or Yeshu, you know, the ones at the crossroad. So what's so interesting to me with that whole magic is that you see that in popular media right now. You see that in anime. You even see that in a lot of sci-fi, where people, the heroes, are using magic as a way to reclaim their power and no longer having the negative connotations to it or the demonization of it, because when you're looking at colonization, you're looking at it from a level of where, okay, you can't talk about that because that is the devil, or this is what your people was doing was pagan, right? One of my sisters who was into tracing our family tree, seen one of the people on my father's side that definitely was from Ghana, and from some of the history that we've seen, she would be known to be in the attic. And they say, oh, she's doing her African stuff again. You know what I mean? These chantings and things. So what is your opinion on the motherland or Africa and how our people can embrace our traditional old ways and move forward into the future with it with dignity, respect, and a stamp of, you know, this is our ish?
Yeah. I'm gonna answer that in like a weird, like winding way, but I promise it will be an answer to what you're saying. So I think for me, growing up in the US, but being second generation, second generation is being born here. Yeah, second generation child of immigrants, is that I thought a lot about both fitting within blackness within the US, but also upholding the kind of African culture that I have and understanding where it matches and relates to other cultures that are from the black majority and from the African majority. And all of that took me into spaces of kind of relational knowledges that I understood. One of the most prominent was my mom grew up in a compound, a physical compound in Ghana that would look fairly similar to the architecture of a courtyard apartment building. Similar to Korean, I have an urban planning background. I think a lot about the ways that we build homes and communities and spaces for each other. And I grew up in a courtyard apartment building. And the way of gathering that I saw with my family in Ghana was a way of gathering that my community back in Connecticut in that apartment building was showing up. It was a lot of people who were African American, West African, Puerto Rican, white, like coming from all these backgrounds, but lived in this kind of spatial dynamic that allowed us to replicate something that was trusted there, which was you watch your kids, you watch your friends' kids or the neighbors' kids, everyone feels safe, there's an eye there, there's green open space or some kind of open space next to where you live and it's available to you. And so that was kind of like a spatial knowledge that was there, and I'm glad I had that, and it felt appropriate when I went back to Ghana to visit my mom's family and see like, this is just what we do. And I think in other ways too, one of the most interesting characters to me is the character of Anansi. Coming from West African lore.
That's the trickster.
The trickster. And since I was a little kid, obviously I'm searching for things that are representative of me. I saw Anansi, I was like, I am Ghanaian, this makes sense, this matches with me. But to understand that also as that came to the what is now the United States as part of the Atlantic slave trade. That character, the power of that character.
Can I just speak upon that real quick, brother? For those who never seen the show American Gods.
I was also about to reference American Gods.
You already did. They say they canceled that show because of that very scene of Anansi talking to this is the deified trickster in West African mythology and folklore. So he's on the slave ship and he's talking to these Africans that are captive going to America. And he says, y'all don't know what's about to go down for these next 400 years. And he goes in. I mean, his speech on it, he goes unfiltered, and he says, you just need to burn down this motherfucker right now. And show ended. That's a little too black for our audience out there, but it was real. And if we're gonna talk about our stories, we can't be afraid. We can't be afraid to be able to say, hey, if we're talking about heading forward into the future and healing as a people in a collective, then all stories need to be told. And that's the duty of artists. That's the duty of the griot. That's the duty of people that will put the mirror to society's face. So Nancy.
And so, that's just all of those things. I see mirrors of that. The trickster is really important to me. And I think like when I grew up, I really loved all forms of black comedy. And I thought that was like, that is the trickster showing up in our modern day. And they're telling you truths to your face. And they're making their communities laugh while telling those truths to your face. And so I think it's like a kind of direct, indirect answer at the same time, but there was a lot of power for me seeing things that I thought were reflected within my own cultural experience at home happening within the communities I saw here. My friends who were from Afro-Puerto Rican backgrounds, my friends who were from African American backgrounds, I saw enough of me and I saw enough of us in our spaces together where I felt like there was a necessity to care for each other.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you for coming on the couch. Can y'all make some noise?
Make some noise. Make some noise. We in here. Thank you, brother.
I hope you are enjoying yourself. This is the People Late Night Talk Show. We are now going to have a 15-minute intermission. So take a break,
That
come
means
back,
move your body.
sign up to come and sit on the couch, yeah?
That's right. That means move your body. Get that music going. We're going to play some music. We got to get it going. Move that body and interact with each other. Say peace to your sister and your brother. All right? Thank you.
You will become my only one if you want. So, darling, if you want me, make up your mind. 365 is my number down. Call me, darling, that's my number. Tell me anything you want from me. Only you have to give your love to me. 365 is my number down. There is only one thing that I know. If you like, you don't like, we must meet. So, darling, if you want me, make up your mind. 365 is my number down. Call me, darling, that's my number. Tell me anything you want from me. Only you have to give your love to me. 365 is my number down.
Shout out to DJ DA.
Yo, he getting it in.
Yes.
Is he getting it in or what?
It's okay. Shout out to Sunny Ade, Nigerian legend. Are y'all having fun? I don't believe y'all. Are y'all having fun?
Where y'all at? Where y'all at? We don't hear
So
y'all.
good. Y'all, the night is continuing to grow. We are having a lot of fun. We are going to have more people on this couch. And so I want you to put your hands together for our next guest. Can you do that?
Yes.
All right, let me see you do it.
All right,
Yeah.
all right, all right.
Come on up. Yes. Oh, wait, I think we might need some music a little bit. Hold on. Y'all make some noise for Sophie Cannon.
Sophie. Yeah, she in here.
We're going to get your song before you leave. We're going to get you to dance.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you guys?
I'm good. I'm good. You have such a very energetic energy. You came on and was smiling and was moving. I saw you earlier dancing. I appreciate you for being here.
Thanks. I mean, you guys, you've had the energy all night long. I mean, and you've got to keep it going. So,
Thank
so-
you.
Right?
Yes, indeed.
I
You
applaud you guys.
Yeah, you said what now?
I applaud you guys.
Oh, thank you so much. I received that. So,
Quick question.
yes.
What is your zodiac sign? We want to know. We're
You
going in with all
people.
this energy and stuff. Like, where was the stars at when you were aligned where you came here?
How'd you know I've been waiting for this question?
Oh, all right.
Because it's my season.
Yes. Okay.
For the people who are not zodiac folks, what season is that? Those people. What makes Scorpios special?
Right? Oh my God. Well, Scorpios are a water sign, right? And so they're so passionate, but also they're the fixed sign of the water signs. Fixed signs always are in the middle of a season. So Scorpio's middle of fall. Tauruses are also a fixed sign, middle of spring. Leo's middle of summer, for examples. And the fixed signs are more stubborn. So it's hard to be so passionate and emotional yet stubborn. Right?
Are y'all amazing partners or y'all complicated partners? What does that mean for Scorpio?
Oh, the Scorpios know how to kiki with one another.
Oh,
That's
I
for
see.
sure.
Are there any Scorpios in the audience?
As someone,
Oh, okay. Some amazing Scorpio people in the audience. Okay, and
we have
DJ
We
DA.
literally have Lori's birthday, resident Scorpio sun, and Rising's
Wow.
birthday a week from today.
Wow. Wow. Come on, shout out for Lori's early birthday. Co-founder of Dance Force. Hi.
And my mom, she's also a Scorpio, day before me. So
Wow.
as someone raised by Scorpios, so much Scorpio love.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's beautiful.
one's for the
That's usually
Scorpios.
not what I hear. When there is a zodiac sign that was raised by the same zodiac sign, usually it's like chaos. But that is really beautiful that you described it as love.
Well,
Indeed.
if I had her in labor on her birthday, I mean, it's the least we can do is have the Scorpio. The Scorpio.
It's like we're stuck with each other. Might as well. Indeed. So, as you're speaking about your mother, tell us who your people are.
so my people are, of course, my mom and Lori, who I already shouted out. But also just like all the people I'm lucky to be surrounded by. Like the fact that I was raised by a village, all my mother's lovely friends. Like that's one of the sayings. And also, my people are the people I'm lucky to kiki with on a daily basis. Just the person I run into on the street or in the elevator, whether I know them or I don't know them, we have a kiki or a positive interaction. So
Special shout out to the people that you can kiki with, cause honey,
Kikiing up in here.
not everybody knows how to kiki.
not everybody knows how to kiki. Some people are very awkward with it. You know, some people don't kiki right. So it's very special when you have those people that you can be like, girl, guess what happened? Indeed. So, tell us about your philosophy, the things that you hold dear to you.
Right. My philosophy is, well, just like keeping the humor always in the space, if possible, right? Like, that's what I try to do at least. Like, you know, like, for a long time I wasn't sure, like, what to do if someone else was crying, you know, because consoling I always went to, like, trying to use humor to, like, lift the mood, but sometimes people don't always want that. So then my other alternative is, how can we rebuild from here? And so I think that's my philosophy, those two things, like, how can we rebuild from here? And also just, like, where can we bring humor into everyday life?
Yeah, I love
And
that.
also leading with positivity and doing a daily dance move, right? Always being ready to break into dance.
Wait, oh.
Are
those tap shoes?
What is going on here?
Wow. I'm serious about my philosophy.
Wow, okay.
You came prepared.
She did.
So what you just did there would be. Yes, let's do that. My whole earring came off. So this tap thing that you just did, would that be like a sort of a sound of happiness of some kind?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, that's part of the philosophy.
Yeah.
Just like having daily practices of joy. And that's one of them.
I
Like
love
always
that.
being able to put on the tap shoes, like lock into the beat and just like have a joy workout.
When did you start tap dancing? Like when did that come about?
10 years ago. I was 9 and now I'm 19. So, yeah. And I started tap dancing, I think it was October. So I think it's like truly like 10-year anniversary.
Wow. Oh, congratulations and happy anniversary. Oh, beautiful. It's for people who don't really understand the tap dancing world or even know what it means to tap dance. What is like your affirmation that you sort of carry as you're tap dancing?
Good question. Well, just that, okay, I was at a show at Jacob's Pillow, which is this dance company in the woods in the Berkshires, which is where I live with my mom and my grandfather. And I've been going there my whole life. Joan Horowitz has been taking me to many shows on the outdoor stage. And some tap dancers were getting interviewed. They're like street tap dancers from, I believe it was Baltimore. And one of them said, like, there's a drum in the black body. And I was like, wait, what did you say? That kind of resonated. Just the idea that like there's an internal drum in the black body you can always lock into. And so I feel like that's what I can tap into when I tap dance. Like just because I like to improvise, and so feeling the beat and just like coming up with something. And my father likes to freestyle rap too, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
see the beat.
You got bars there.
Oh, that's dope. Have you ever tap danced to him freestyling? Have you ever tap danced to him like freestyling?
Never.
Okay.
I bet he would love that.
Okay.
Well, I have a quick question for you. The roots of tap dancing. Where does this come from? I mean, I know some people might call this an Afro-American phenomena, but from where does the history of tap dancing come from? And in your opinion, do you think it's a dying art?
Definitely a dying art. I mean, it's so hard to find other tap dancers. But also, like, the history of it, well, the first tap dancer I really saw was Donald O'Connor. He plays Cosmo in Singing in the Rain, and also he just has so many awesome tap dance numbers. He tap danced on roller skates, has like a whole, like, number with a room full of balloons, and then he pops the balloon with his tap shoes as he dances. But also, that's an example of a white man, and I'm taking actually, get this, a news comedy class right now. It's called Headlines and Punchlines, and what we do is study late night television. Basically Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, it's all these white men. I'm tired of the lack of representation. Like, that's all we talk about in the class, and I fear I'm very not engaged. But I know I saw some clips of these two twins that were in. It was from the 30s, and they both have these beautiful black afros, and they have like these awesome suits on, and they do like a crazy tap routine of like doing splits and like all this awesome stuff. So, like. As far as the history of tap dancing, like that's my history. Like those are the videos I think of, like of my earliest, like my earliest examples of it.
How can we get more young people in this art? How can we say this, like, I don't want to call it a dying art,
Right.
you know, because we have people like you and others who are still interested in it, but how can we bring this back to have people more involved like I see, for instance, Double Dutch. I grew up and I see my sister, she'd be out there, they doing the Double Dutch and all that. And I'm seeing people bring back certain things that are part of our culture. So how do you feel that tap dancing can go into the future?
Well, I think just the people that tap dance right now just keep on keeping on. Like not like there were so many times I remember like when COVID hit, like I stopped taking tap lessons and I thought I maybe wouldn't really tap that much, and then I started tapping on my own and it came back. And so the tap dancers that do have it in them, continuing with the passion. And then also there are so many like new technical things that we use today that kind of is similar to tap dancing and is kind of the new wave. Like Michelle Dorrance, she won the MacArthur Fellowship for being a tap dancer. She did a show in which they were on all these tiles, and when you pressed on each tile, it made like its own sound. And so you made a beat from pressing on the different sounds, right? And also lights too, like you press on this, lights up a different color, and then making like a beautiful rainbow, or like making art through, I feel like that's a new wave of tap dance. Like not actually having shoes, but what you step on the floor, but being mindful of the steps on the tiles.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So, would you like to show us a little something?
Yes.
Yes? Y'all want to see something? Can y'all make some noise?
Yes.
The floor is yours.
Can you play something? You can play anything. Play whatever you want. Have fun.
All right, y'all. Yeah.
Have a tap dance with me. Yeah, we're happy.
Show us a little something. What are you holding? What is that?
Oh my God, I'm holding my godmother's new book, The Barking Puppy.
Who is your godmother?
My godmother is Lori Lobenstein,
Yes.
created Design Studio for Social Intervention with Kenny.
Indeed, indeed. Can we make some noise for Lori? And what would you like to say about the book?
Well, what I'd like to say about the book is that The Barking Puppy is based on a real project me and Lori did when I was 10, and we've continued till now through this book. And basically, The Barking Puppy is a newspaper, and it's written by and for dogs, and part of it covers political issues from a dog's perspective. And this taught me, like, when I was younger, like, this helped me think about politics in a really, like, good way, because otherwise, I don't find them very interesting, especially when I was, like, 10. But then when we were coming up with headlines like Hillary Kitten, like CIA, email scandals, and the CIA is the Canine Intelligence Agency, it was just so much more engaging. And so I feel like just doing this when I was younger really inspires what I do now, which is I study comedy. And I figure out how to, talk about racism in comedy, and also, just using political satire and,
It's so funny. We was talking about Anansi and again the trickster, the comedian, and even when we think of the jester, he was the only one that can make jokes towards the king, you know, without being beheaded. So there's that place for comedy to really bring in certain subjects, certain issues to the table, and still be able to enjoy it and laugh as well. So thank you. Thank you.
And even understand it. Indeed. Thank you so much for sitting on our couch. Y'all, please make some noise. Yes. Are y'all having a good time? Are y'all cold? Almost done, yes. If you sway a little bit to the music, it might warm you up a little bit, yes. Introduce our next guest. Can y'all make some noise for Leigh Lennon?
Yes.
Leigh Lennon.
It's spelled the Irish way, but also the English Irish way, because the actual Irish way is like Ceile, and nobody knows that says Kaylee.
Okay.
So I go by Leigh. Leigh.
Leigh. Leigh Lennon. So I'm gonna do it again, yes? Yes. So can y'all make some noise for Leigh Lennon? Thank you for checking me, yes? How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little cold.
You're a little cold?
Yeah.
So we might have to dance a little later to warm up?
Maybe. I am
too
a
tired.
dancer.
Oh, you are a dancer?
I am a dancer.
Okay.
I also try to be cute and warm at the same time, which is not fun in New England.
Sometimes we gotta make a little sacrifice to be cute, yeah? Yeah, but you look fly though.
Thank you.
Okay, so it was worth it.
I would like to also put a mirror up to you because I'm loving everything about your outfit.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So you're doing okay. How was your week?
My week was very magical.
Ooh.
Yeah. So many miracles have been happening in my life, and just like redirections that you would think sound really horrible, but they've actually just been like really amazing. My computer crashed on me, and I got a new computer that I've now been like exploring, and it's made me re-excited for a lot of my practices, especially in art that I would do like digitally. So I'm very blessed right now.
Oh, that's a blessing. That's really beautiful. I love when life works out that way. It's like it interrupts something, right? But there's something that it pivots you to. And then like it's just a new path that you're like in love with or that you desire or that you're learning from. Indeed. So I'll begin with the question that I've been asking everyone, which is, who are your people?
That's a good question. I would say my people are the mystics. I like what you said, anyone who leads with their heart. I hold that very true to everything that I say. My people are the fairies, the goblins, the people on the opposite side, the outskirts of society. Those are my people. That's who I want to kiki with, that who has like the most potent stories that you can really like, if you just give someone an ear, people who never get listened to, and you lend them an ear and you lend them your time out of the kindness of your heart, you will hear the most beautiful stories that you've ever heard in your lifetime.
Indeed.
What is your opinion about, you said the fairies, right? I think about the Celtic traditions, I think about the Druids, and these were Europeans that actually embraced the nature, you know? And I'm gonna let that go by real quick. In the city of Boston, we do all things.
With my dog, wait, 1 second. Yeah. With my dog, we tell them to let her know, like let them know whenever the sirens go, so then we all like howl. So we go, ow, ow, ow!
So next time it comes about.
Yeah, so that way we're prepared.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna let them know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, the Celtics, the Druids, they talked about the fairy circle, and we talked. There's these mythos of the toadstools or the sacred mushrooms. There's a conversation that's happening here in Boston of decriminalization for the usage of psychedelics or ethogenic medicines. How does that play into your people, your fairy people?
Well, so you talk about Druids, you talk about Celtics. That's who I was raised by.
Okay.
That's who I was raised by. I was raised going in the woods, going to festivals where people were dressed as centaurs and goblins and fairies, everything. And then I would come home, and I grew up like in and out of Boston. And I would come to like this kind of jungle and then go back to like the forest. And so that contrast really shows true in who I am, and I love to live in dichotomy. And when it comes to healing, a lot of what we have done as we've urbanized is negated natural healing. And that's really a shame, honestly. I feel like we got the age of Aquarius, a lot more feminine energy coming in. We're definitely turning back to Mother Earth and asking her, how can we help you and how can I help me, right? Because this isn't we're not in a solitude journey. We're here to be interconnected. Yeah. That's the whole point. Yeah. That's the only point, is to be interconnected and to see how we can help feed each other while we feed ourselves, right? Never pouring from an empty cup. But to speak on like plant medicine, I've learned a lot about herbalism specifically and looked into psychedelics as well. And there's a lot that we can do to heal trauma, right? You talk about dancing, you talk about somatics. Right. That's a great way to heal trauma. Right. With the exercise you led us through earlier, I felt lighter afterwards.
Right.
And I'm actually going through a practice where I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to help people heal through dance and movement so that we can help heal not only the trauma that's going on within your own lifetime, but throughout your lineage, right? Let's dig all of it up so that you're not passing anything down.
It's interesting because when we talk about plant medicine, right? I've sat in a lot of like shamanic ceremonies over the years and conducted and helped aid a lot of what we would call shamans, or different terms for medicine women and medicine men. My father, he was at Woodstock. He's seen Jimi Hendrix play live. He's seen, all that was happening at that time. And there was the psychedelic revolution that was happening in the 1960s, which there was a lot of other movements that were happening at that time. Some people are looking at a resurgence or this renewal at the idea of psychedelics or ethogenic medicine or plant medicine as a tool to help heal our neighborhoods, right? If we're talking about Boston again, if you go down to Boston Medical, it's bad. You know what I mean? It's bad. I have a friend that actually passes out clean needles for a lot of people that are dealing with addiction issues, So when we look at different universities that are actually studying how these psychedelics are working on the brain, studies that how it deals with depression, anxiety, and all these other things. And then when I think about Mama Africa, I think of even Iboga. I don't know if you heard of Iboga before, but Iboga is a actual shrub that grows in Gabon, in West Africa. And it's been proven to help people with addiction, So a lot of people, even in Hollywood and stuff, are addicted to all kinds of different things. They take part in the ceremony and it has reduced their level of addiction. So in regard to psychedelics, into healing, and we talked about the Celtics and the Druids, how does that relate to, say for instance, a person who identifies themselves as a European, who want to walk forward in a place of learning how to connect back with Mother Earth or, Mama Gaia?
That's a lot to chew on. I'll try to
We
walk
getting
somewhere.
deep out here.
Yeah, I'll try to walk somewhere. Hopefully, I get there. But okay. One, I would like to think about psychedelics, right, and speak on that. Specifically as plant medicine, we all have natural. I'm gonna wait because this is important. But we all have natural DMT that is within our brain, right?
That's
If
right.
you look into, like, psilocybin is one chemical, but also if you look at ayahuasca, the active ingredient within that is DMT.
DMT, yes.
And then you could also do DMT ceremonies, right? Those are all, like, connecting us to that higher consciousness. You can also, what you were talking about with a trance, right?
Right.
That is also a way that you're able to connect to that higher consciousness,
Right.
There's a simultaneous space where self is and is present and self is dissolving. And that's what that is. And so when we talk about psychedelics, we're getting into that space, which reminds us of how interconnected all of our energy is, which is the dissolving aspect, but you're so present in the moment that you're able to remember.
Do you think that psychedelics could be something that's useful for our neighborhoods? I mean, do you think, in regard to, because a lot of people might have their own ideas about what that means. And the first thing that might go to a lot of people's head is that you're taking drugs, all right?
So-
or you're altering your mind. So where does that play into part of saying, of it dealing with our neighborhoods? And if it's beneficial to our neighborhoods?
Okay, so I grew up in an addicted household. I also grew up going to AA meetings and watching a lot of what felt like my second family, like, battle with addiction. And so there are definitely different ways for people to heal themselves, right?
Okay.
One thing my father always said to me, which this has stuck with me for forever and will continue, and I hope everybody can hear this and is open to hear it. We are addictive by nature. Get addicted to good things.
Wisdom. Yeah, say that again.
We are addicted by nature. Get addicted to good things.
Okay, now that's wisdom. Clap to that one. Y'all better, you know what I mean? Speak the wisdom. Yeah.
So, if we're going to take that into account, I do think that it would be able to be helpful, right? There's another thing, I love this. If anyone's ever watched this cartoon, it's like a podcast, it's animation, it's really fun. It's called Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel. Wonderful,
And,
wonderful.
Yes, and so they're talking with, like, this president while there's a zombie apocalypse, and he's like, what do you think about drugs, right? And so
Right.
he was like, the president says that it's not about the chemical itself, it's about the person's relationship to the chemical. I
Okay.
think that it could be helpful for people. I think that what we need to think about is the way that our education system is, the way that our medical system is, right? If you're taught over and over again, right? Even just thinking about how we've trained people to ignore babies when they're crying, right? That whole self-soothing aspect. If you are 6 months old, you do not know how to soothe yourself. You need to be shown comfort and care to understand what it's like, right? So then if you're not shown comfort and care, how are you supposed to know how to do that for yourself? And that will trickle down to lineages, right? That will start and you'll wake up, you'll be 50 years old and you're like, I've never cared for myself. And so
That's very interesting.
for myself, right? For myself, I am sober. I do not drink. I do not drink alcohol, right? And I do not smoke weed anymore, right? I have indulged in psychedelics. And because of all the research that I've read, right? But understanding that when you look at something as a tool to help you, not the key that is going to fix all your problems,
Right.
that's when you change how your relationship is to a drug. If we are not enabling people from a young age on how to understand their emotions, how to process and transmute and alchemize their emotions, and then not given proper coping skills or any sort of expression, the opposite of expression is depression.
Okay.
So if you are depressed, you're going to find a way to escape.
Right. Now you said something interesting. I've been doing massage therapy for
I've gotten one of your
almost
massages.
30 years. You was able to receive a chair massage.
Put me in a different planet.
Thank you. And you said something about babies not being able to know how to bring love to themselves. That's the first thing we learned in massage therapy, the importance of touch. We're social beings, we need connection. And it's interesting because when you look at people nowadays, I didn't grow up with the internet, you know what I mean? But if you look at the iPhone, if you look at people, there's no interaction. Everybody's looking down at this gadget, right? Now, technology is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but then you have what you say, real connections. And how do we progress into the future, even with technology, and still be able to hold our own humanity? Yeah.
That is a very large question.
Okay.
I can try and put it into bite-sized pieces the best that I understand it. One thing I will also say, my father is a sage, right? I'm so blessed. We've been multiple lifetimes together, so I'm blessed to have him in this lifetime again. What he said when I got my first phone, because my mom would always be like, when's your dad coming to get you? I don't know, you're the adult, you know, like I can't contact him. He got me a phone. And he said, this is a tool, right? Again, it's about your perspective on how you look at things. This is a tool, use it as such, right? And so it's a way that you can connect with people instantly from all over the world. At the same time, there are so many studies saying that we are the least connected. We feel the least connected, right? It's not about what our ability is. It's about how we feel in our communities. So things like this, where I can point out, I know people in the crowd, I know you, like, that is really beautiful, right? The connections that we build in that, but we have to decide not to look here and to show up in these spaces, right? I think that we're moving into an age where a lot of technology is going to make it easier for us to have more time to participate in these spaces. And so while that is scary, and it took me a while to get to that mentality, because even myself looking at all of this, I was like, wow, this is really daunting to see how fast things are like materializing before our eyes. I was, I think, around like 8 years old when my grandmother got her first iPhone. It was the first generation. And so I've seen this from like old YouTube that was really fun to whatever's happening now. Everyone has I have a YouTube channel. Everyone has a YouTube channel, you know? And looking into that evolution. But there are so many people who are looking at it as a space to how can I connect with my community both in person and globally? And how can I share this love that I have? I think that if that is our first step, if that's always what your first intention is, then we're gonna be okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
George, thanks. And we're doing about all kinds of subjects. Thank you.
goes by the name of Hakeem. Hakeem, can we make some noise for Hakeem? Hakeem? Y'all can do a better job than that. So Hakeem, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm well, and I should say Brother Dooley just stepped away for a minute, but he'll be right back. All right. So you're doing well. How was your week?
Very balanced. I'm not too mad at this week. Actually.
Okay, that's a good response. That's a really good response. So we've been asking folks who their people are, and I'm interested to know, who are your people?
My people are all people in good faith.
Okay. What does that mean?
Well, first and foremost, my middle name is Iman, and that translates to faith from Arabic, English. All people who believe in, I think, just the action of belief. And I think that would correlate to everybody that wakes up and tries again tomorrow, which would be everyone. And I have a little bit of faith in everybody that exists, so I guess all people are my people.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. That's a really beautiful thing. And so I see on your paper here that you do music.
I do.
And does any of that practice translate into your music?
It's like masonry. Like you have to put it in the work. It has to be in what you do. It has to be who you are. And not necessarily about being perfect or the most outstanding person, but making sure that you're authentic in who you are and what you bring.
Yeah, that's a really beautiful thing. What type of music do you do?
I do mostly R&B.
R&B. Do you sing or you sing? I think the people is saying something. I can't hear what they're saying very well, but it sounds something like they want to hear it. I don't know. I might be hearing wrong. Should we warm it up? We should wake up.
I could do a little something.
Okay.
I've been really trying, baby, trying to hold back this feeling for so long. And if you feel like I feel, baby, then come on. Oh, come on. Woo. Let's get on. Let's get on. Let's love, baby. Let's get on. Sugar, let's get on. There you go. There you go.
Get it.
Sounds like.
Get it.
That's beautiful. How did you come to own your own voice?
To my own voice?
Yeah, how did you come to own it?
I owned this voice probably 2 years ago, but I've been singing as a passion in a career base for about 10 years.
Wow.
I started in a group, so I had to kind of just fit in and learn the basics of harmony. There wasn't a standout guy, so you kind of learn to play your role. When I went solo, it was a journey of finding out who I was, all the things I could do with my voice, and kind of studying on my idols. First and foremost, King, Michael Jackson. As you can see, Marvin Gaye, Craig David, David Ruffin, people like that, like raw performance artists. And I think when I learned to accept that I just have to feel good when I'm doing it, that became my identity.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah. That's really beautiful. And what would be your philosophy?
I had this saying that's, who is so special that I should be them and not myself?
One more time, brother.
Who is so special that I should be them and not myself? Everyone is special, of course, but that calls to your own individuality. Like you are who you are, you are who you are. I can recognize the greatness in both of you, but also I can stand in the room as someone great myself. And nobody has to compete, because if great recognizes great, we're all on the same level.
That's right. As they say, real recognize real.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, you said you just had this 2 years ago, where you discovered this voice, man. How did it happen, man? What was the motivation? How did this, you know what I mean?
I sang for people that I always wanted to sing for, but not at the moment I wanted to sing for them. Most people don't know if you know Boston legend Larry Wu. That's my uncle.
What's the person's name again?
Larry Wu. Larry Wu, very popular musician back in the day. Passed away, and I got to sing at his funeral as well as his younger brother Roscoe. And it was the first time I sang for my family. And hearing them mourn and cry, like, oh my God, like I can't believe you just did that. And I was like, okay, like I can do this. You know, like my family was that last bit of confidence I needed.
Yeah. That's the power of music. It's able to hit people, it's able to touch people in ways that other forms of mediums may not do.
Right.
And maybe that is a part of your philosophy as well, just the impact of music in itself.
Absolutely. It's so beautiful what sound does.
Yeah.
It could be the tinkering of an object, the humming of a machine, like everything that has a frequency and that can vibrate really moves you. And like when you learn that you are that, and you can embody that, and you can put it out there in the world to affect other people, it becomes a responsibility.
Indeed. Indeed. Sound is a way of making ourselves known. I'm thinking of, what's her name? Bernice Johnson, Bernice Reagan Johnson, who said that. So that was really powerful. Rest in peace, rest in love, indeed. We can give Bernice a round of applause. I'm curious to know some of the things that you're thinking about. What are some things that come up in your mind? What have you been thinking about?
Lately, I've been kind of hyper-focused on this newfound energy that I can do what I set my mind to. I think a lot of people, like just personally, I've been to people my entire life. I'm a service being. I serve people, and I have yet to learn or embody what it feels like to serve myself in a good way, not to be selfish, but self-full. And I've learned that no matter what, I can't escape giving to people. How do I pour into myself and be the cup that runneth over, you know, and be the biggest blessing in the world is to be one to someone. And if I don't take care of myself, how can I give the best of myself to anyone? And it sounds kind of selfish. It is a little bit rebellious. You'll go through a phase where people aren't so familiar with you, like, you know, I gotta take care of this right now. But when the floodgates open up, the abundance of understanding, perspective, respect, and love that you have to offer to the world, it goes right back into your cup as fast as it comes out. So I'm in that phase of learning that. And I'm 28 right now. I've been an adult for 7 years, but I'm just now starting to feel like a man, and it's amazing. And I can't wait. I used to feel like I was getting old, but I can't wait. You know, my grades are coming in. Like, I can't wait to see what this journey has to offer me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
There it is. Now, you at 28, I'm not big into astrology, but I hear like 29 is something they call Saturn's returns, right? And it's this place where you're re-examining yourself. You're seeing who are you becoming, you know what I mean? And he says something very deep, man, because most people that walk around that have an open heart, that have a level of like, you know, I love my people, you know what I mean? I love my family, I love my friends. And especially when we deal with music today, like, you know, I came into the golden era of hip hop where the level of diversity with different subject matter was on the table, all right? Now you have a lot of people that come through through entertainment that have messages saying it's not about the open heart, it's about me getting my money, dealing with, you know. So how do a person navigate through life with an open heart and learning how to be able to authentically take time for themselves, you know, and pour into their own cup?
You will struggle. Not because you're on that journey, but because you're here. You exist. Everything that exists has a struggle. Plants have a struggle, birds have a struggle. It's just, well, now that we're talking about plants, how are you watering you? What type of soil are you in? Is your environment conducive towards the fruit that you're trying to bear? And knowing that it's a constant effort. It's season after season. Like, you grow tomatoes, or whatever you grow, you put in the ground. You have to replant the seeds every season. It's not you just plant one big tree and like, well, there is one big tree in life, you can call it God or whatever. But like as far as your own fruit, every season you gotta plant. You gotta pour into yourself. You have to. If you're into community, you help other people's garden, because sometimes you have waters that other people may need. You have light that people may need. You have soil that people may need. And life is really that simple and rudimentary when you look at it that way. And always know that when you feel like you're running out, all you have to do is ask. Not anyone, not anything, just, can I have more? And don't be afraid to ask for more. Some people feel selfish, they feel like they're greedy, but greedy people don't feel greedy. So if you've been given and you're empty, just ask. Like, it's really that simple.
Yeah, I think you're speaking to something really beautiful that has been a theme, which is like the connectedness. Like it's important that we're all connecting with each other, and we're building community with one another. And so, on that note, I want to say thank you so much for coming.
All right.
Happy Monday. Let us know where to get your music.
Oh, you can get all my music now. I ain't gonna keep on.
I just give this to them?
Who goes by the name of Fadil? Can we make some noise for Fadil?
Peace, everybody.
How are you, good friend?
Doing good, y'all. How y'all doing?
Good.
How was y'all's week?
Okay, I see us. It was pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. This was very restful.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to say thank you to everybody for holding this together.
Yeah.
Everybody who put this together. Everybody's contribution.
Indeed. Indeed. Such a beautiful space to be in. So I'll start with the question that we've been asking everyone. I mean, you've been in the audience, and so now you're sitting on the chair, on the couch. Who are your people?
Yes. So for me, this question at first was like an object. I was looking for people in like, units and digits, trying to amass this like collective of individuals. I think now for me, the people is like a way of being in relationship. It's the people is like a mindset. It's a mindset. It's a frame of like understanding, which I think comes with on levels being both humiliated and humbled on levels. I think as a people we've been through so much hardship and struggle and challenges that going through waves. So this question about how we ground in the reality and not just trying to be too positive or too negative, but allowing space. The people is allowing space.
Allowing space. I love that. What are some ways in which you ground yourself?
Things like this, honestly, because it's such a risk on a level, but it's a beautiful one to like share. To you don't have to like come up with a resume necessarily. It could be coming from different angles of life and have perspectives, and all of it is a contribution. So I think like being present in moments like this is extremely grounding, and to just see everybody and somebody who's like seeing the street change on so many levels, but to still feel some familiarity, coming to the Black Nutcracker here, Urban Nutcracker. I call it the Black Nutcracker, I guess. But the Urban Nutcracker. Because I guess it was that binary in my mind, you know what I mean? There really was a Black Boston, to me. I think as I grow, I'm like, dang, we go through a lot, but beautiful.
Even this space in itself, right? The Strain Theater has held so much Black art across time. So yeah, that's so true. You're an artist.
I hope to be.
But you are. Yes. Are you struggling to say yes?
It's a dance, right?
Okay, it is a dance. I saw it.
Sometimes I feel a strong yeah.
You know, sometimes I'm like, dang, what is art?
I know. What is
What
art?
is the
What,
thing?
what is art?
That's the question.
That is the question.
to be a lifelong learner
Yeah.
on a level. But yeah, I would say like the art that I try to engage or things like what is happening on a level. This kind of serendipity, spontaneity, the improv, like, you know, the being in the presence. But I've tried to do that through interdisciplinary means on a level, you know, through music and writing and visuals and clashing these things together, because that's often how I feel internally. You know, and trying to just let that rawness, you know, exist. Give, you know, like we were saying earlier, giving it space. And in a way, art is making space like what is happening right now. You know, of course, there's this design, but to intervene and be like, yo, there could be this kind of energy, this lighting, this tone, this combo, this setup. Of course, inspired by legacies of things, but that's a beautiful part of the art, to pull from space-time as ink and as material.
Indeed it is.
My brother. So, along with your art, how do you see art as a way to help your community? How is art gonna help the youth out there and people going through what they go through in an everyday fashion? Like, how do you envision an artist's contributions to their neighborhood?
Yeah. So everyone has echoed this tonight, either like just by being present, you know, sitting on this couch, kind of contributing to like what does it mean to address a challenge, which I think really comes from the space of imagination and dream and soul, spirit, the sacred, Mother Nature, all these things that we've said, integrity, honoring ourselves. There's so many things that get in the way of that though. And I think sometimes understanding this question of like, who am I, who are we, they don't necessarily have to be against each other. So being open can be really challenging. Like, you know, as much as I think I'm open, there's things I you know, feel close to. Like even when I came in, Joe was like, yo, you're gonna hop on the mic, right? I was like, oh nah, you know, like I'm just gonna listen, and you know, it's encouraged by seeing others and things like that. So I think one of the ways of learning is to make it intergenerational, where there's not necessarily like, you know, young people only learning from elders, elders being displaced by young people or distance, but really all of us learning together.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
We appreciate you so much, Badil. Thank you so much for what you pour out into the world. So
Thanks
please
for
make
having
some
me up
noise
here,
for
y'all.
Badil. Indeed.
Thank
Can
you.
make some noise for Badil?
Our brother, give some love to him. Make some noise for our brother.
Great job. Thank you.
Boston scene. Yo, the Boston scene. Yo, the Boston scene. Yo, the Boston scene. Yo, we in the beat. Dorchester. Roxbury. Mattapan. South Bend. Rotterdam. We all right here. Yeah, that boss said. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for taking time out of your night.
All right.
Thank y'all.
So we have our last guest for the night.
Thank y'all for hanging with us.
We have our last guest for the night.
Thanks, love.
So if y'all can make some noise for
Hey, what's up? How you doing? Blessed, black, and highly favored. Thank you. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all, and shout out to this amazing DJ. Give it up for him. Yo. Throwing down with War, some Salif Keita. I'm like, man, I wish I would say earlier.
But you're here now. That's
Yes.
all that matters. Are you comfortable on the couch?
Very. This couch is Too comfortable. Can I take it home with me?
I think you can. If you can fit it in your car.
Can we take the couch home? She's
And
like,
everyone
no.
in Diaspora Side's like, no, you can't. Like, it's not even your couch to give, anyways. So we've been beginning with asking folks who are your people. And so I'll begin with that.
Well, y'all are my people, number one.
Come on.
Dance community is my people. Yes, my house head people are
So
mine.
you be dancing with Kenny.
Kenny is definitely my people.
Yeah.
Definitely Be Free Kenny. And just art and cultural creators are my people. I just love the way art just tells the story of life and helps and inspires us to do and be better people on this earth.
I love that. I love that. Now, I'm interested in your experience in dance, yeah? When you are dancing, what is your philosophy on movement?
I mean, I'm borrowing it, but like dance literally like nobody's watching. Just have fun in your own body, in your own spirit. I mean, I'm not necessarily dancing as well as an Alvin Ailey dancer or somebody who's like, taking theater. I mean, the person you had here earlier that was doing tap. I am not going to be that flexible. But there is a beat and a rhythm within me that makes me feel good, that makes me smile inside, that brings me my own joy that I love. And so I try to just tap into that wherever I go, whenever I'm out dancing, which hasn't been like a lot lately, but whenever I do, I just try to just be free about it.
How can you deal with someone who's very shy on the dance floor? Like,
how can I deal with somebody?
I mean, not like you, but give advice to, say, for instance, a person that, it's like, hey, I want to be able to express myself with my body, but this person might have a lot of anxiety, for instance. It's like, well, I don't know if people are judging me on how I dance and stuff like that. What kind of advice can you give to a person like that?
That is a very, very good question. As somebody who actually has a partner who has body positivity as part of their mantra, I think you have to be able to just love some of you, hug yourself and love yourself. Every perfection that you have that somebody might consider an imperfection, love that self about you. I mean, look at yourself. We all know what parts of us maybe don't bend the same way or might necessarily be this quote unquote beautiful aesthetic, but we gotta just embrace it. A crooked tooth or maybe your head is or your shoulders or your body dips in a certain way. Just embrace that, leap into that. That was made, you are made with that particular body mold. Nobody else has that except you. Love that self about you and take that to every space you go into, including a dance floor. If you got two left feet, so what? You got two left feet and nobody else do, so use your left feet the way you gotta go. Go left.
That's right. That's right.
So,
That's right.
If they got you right feet, go right.
That's right. That's right.
That was a good question, though. Thank you. I mean, it's taken a while just to embrace that. I mean, when I go into places, I'm seeing people that when we do go to dance, yeah, the people have been dancing, but everybody's just in their own space and in their own head, feeling their vibe and just loving their colors, loving their clothing, they've dressed the way they really know that it's going to express themselves the best way. So no matter who you are, do that.
Could dancing be meditation?
It is.
Okay.
It is. It is a form of getting into yourself, your I mean, if you want to call it your higher self, you're tapping into that thing that makes you, that connects to yourself, to you, that literally kind of grounds you. And while you're stepping on the ground and you're moving and floating around on the ground. So yes. You asked some good questions, man.
Hey, I'm just vibing.
You asked some good questions. You're making it hard. I got to think about these questions
That
for
was
real.
also a beautiful answer. And so I'm sort of being told to round it up here, but we really appreciate you on what you shared with us and also the practice and invitation to dance more. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Indeed. You have a blessed night. Can y'all make some noise?
Make
for
some
Maurice?
noise.
Please.
Make some noise.
Make some noise for yourselves.
Come on.
As music
Bring in
is
the wisdom
flowing,
of dance.
if y'all don't mind just dancing and
The
practicing,
wisdom of
moving
dance.
while nobody is watching, go ahead and dance. I see some
You gotta move that body.
appreciate you for being here. Thank you again for coming to the People's Late Night Talk Show. Leonard with you, y'all, and this is Brother Dooley. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you.
All right here. Yeah, that boy said. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for taking time out of your night.
All right.
Thank y'all.
So we have our last guest for the night.
Thank y'all for hanging with us.
Hakeem, please let us know where to get your music to.
One, two, y'all. 1, 2, 1, 2, y'all.